Hello and welcome to Things You Realize as an Adult. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it is the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest thing. I was talking to my buddy the other day, and we're freshly graduated, and he was like, "When I was in high school," and I stopped him like, "Holy fuck, we're on." Did you not hear what you just said? He's like, "Yeah, that felt weird to say." I'm like, "Yeah, we're actually Unk now. That's fucking crazy. That is the weirdest feeling."
I don't know if it's just me, or even after a few years of being an adult, I still don't got it figured out on how to be a grown up. I kind of feel like I'm a teenager playing pretend and acting like I know what I'm doing.
Oh
This
my
whole
gosh, yes. My look on adults because, like, when I was little, like, I'm just like, "Oh, okay, look at this super wise person." I mean, like, that they got it all figured out, all this shit. When in all reality, I think they are literally the same as they were when they were a teenager. They just have more responsibilities or, just maybe matured more in a sense, but, I mean, still is just kind of a kid.
idea I had in my head about adulthood was completely wrong. When I was a kid, I used to think that adults have their life together, stable jobs, families, cars. But it turns out they were the same old people, just with a shit ton more responsibilities and stress.
Word for word. No, truly. It's like it's crazy that it is weird to think that's like, wow, I'm on par with like an adult now. That is the weirdest feeling.
And maybe some back pain. Older people are known to be constantly grumpy and complaining about something, and I'm starting to see why. But as much as I hear about the complaints, being an adult isn't all bad. Sure, there's definitely a difference in lifestyle because you're not playing video games and eating chips all day, but you're also a bit smarter than you were, a bit more mature. There's definitely pros and cons to aging. So I thought, why not go over some things that makes being an adult cool and makes being an adult suck big fat cock. Let's start off with driving. Driving is pretty badass. Ever since I played those games like Mario Kart, I knew I wanted to be behind the wheel. But it didn't mean I was good. I was a terrible driver for the first 2 years, but getting my license was one of the few things that solidified my adulthood. You unlock a new skill to get where you want by yourself. Cause when you're a kid, you always needed permission. You either gotta be like,
Mommy, can you please drive me to my friend's house to have a play date?
then you gotta tell your parents what you're gonna do, when you're gonna get home, and rely on them for a means of transportation. You could take public transit too, but most buses in America had a really shitty schedule or has a stop way too far from where you wanna be. The third option would be taking an Uber, but that's expensive. I don't know what kid or teenager could afford that. Being able to go places on your own is life-changing. My first big purchase was buying my own car, and I fucking love my car, and having the ability to drive. So adulthood definitely gets a plus here. Moving on to social life. And once you graduate and you're out of school, it's kind of like getting kicked out of the main group chat that you text in, because your social life dies.
No,
It's
oh
going
my
hard.
gosh. Yeah, no, it's bad because you get to go to school, conversate with people. Like, I think when adults and stuff say, like, oh, I miss it. I think the only thing they miss is maybe like the socializing part of it. That's the only thing I would ever miss because personally, waking up that early, oh my gosh, I had such bad anxiety every morning to go in to school. Like it would be very bad. Like it wouldn't be right. And not only that, but the teachers sometimes just tried to make your life worse. It was just I cannot stand school. I'll stand by that. I would never go back. I don't care how old I get. I'm never gonna be like, "Gosh, I wish I could go to school again." No, never. The only thing I would ever miss is just the socializing.
Were the best years to form a bond with any friends or romantic interests. The whole environment is literally plopping a bunch of people with the same age and the same major and putting them in a classroom. If that wasn't enough, there's clubs and events that you can go to. University is built for prime social interaction. There was an unlimited opportunity to meet a friend or make a connection. Most of your guys' closest friends you probably met from school. And that social aspect completely disappears once you graduate. I would say that's the most noticeable change after school. Other than the friends that I already have, I don't think my circle is gonna get much bigger. Back when I was a student, hanging out with someone was almost an every.
That is so real because when you're like 20, 30, you're not going and making new friends. You make your friends and it's like making your character in a before you actually get into a game. It's like you get your certain friends. Normally sometimes it could even be a big group, but it will slowly shrink when people start getting like consumed with their lives and all that stuff. Like it's kind of wild.
Day thing. I would be with my buddies after class, go to the gym together, get food together. But nowadays, if you're able to schedule a hangout with a group of friends when everyone is free, that's an accomplishment. Because after school, people are doing their own thing. You can have one friend super deep into the relationship and maybe another friend just started gambling and became an alcoholic. The point is, everyone is busy, and since you don't share the same schedule with your friends anymore, you rarely get to see each other. And that goes for relationships too. If you can't even make friends after school, you're definitely not going to find a partner.
If you graduate college single, you're gonna die alone. Welcome to Adult Maxing episode 1. Dating after college fucking sucks. Most of the people that I know that graduated college single are still single to this day. And it's because it's so much harder to meet people. In college, you can meet
Dude,
people in class.
and then you go in like I haven't done it personally, but you go to like Tinder or something like that. Like I have a buddy who literally it's like, oh, I met this real nice girl on Tinder. I'm like, oh, that's good for you. And then he went and then came back and I'm like, oh, how'd that go? He's like, no. I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? It's like I got catfished. It's like, whoa, what? It couldn't be that bad. It's like she told me she was really short and skinny, and it kind of looked like it in the picture, but she was really short and honestly could barely walk. And I'm like, oh, lovely. Like that. I don't even know. Some girls, I don't know how they do it, but they can literally like the most like flattering angle they could possibly get on there, and it's just like their profile picture for the rest of their life. Like and then like when they go and meet someone in person or whatever, it's just like they got catfished. It's really rough.
At a house party, shit, even walking down the street. After college, you have to meet people at the club, Tinder, or your coworkers who are like 45 years old.
I can confirm everything this guy is saying is true. There's a reason why post-grad depression exists.
Did I say
It's hard to
Tinder? What the hell did I say? I think I did say Tinder. Fuck. I meant Tinder if I said something else earlier. I don't know. I'm second guessing myself.
From seeing so many people every day to seeing no one at all. So it's very important that you make an effort to keep in touch with the friends that you already have. Thank you to those friends that keep sending me TikToks and Reels. But overall, this is one of the biggest L's for being an adult. On a better note, another pro of being an adult is doing stuff that you couldn't do as a kid. I didn't realize how many activities were restricted if you were under 18 to 21. Like you couldn't go to certain concerts, go to clubs or bars, go to a casino, drink, get a tattoo, start an
I am old enough now to go and get a lottery ticket, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done it yet because I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy some gambling, so I feel as if I would buy one, and then I would forever, every time I go to a gas station or something, buy one because you know there's a small chance that you could win. I don't know, it's really bad.
There's a big list. A lot of things you were curious about as a kid is now something that you can experience. Some of those activities were overrated, but the fact that the gate is opened gives you a sense of freedom that you didn't have before. Obviously, I'm not encouraging these activities, but you have the choice, and a choice is a privilege. Independence is something that comes along with being an adult because you're old enough and you're expected to make your own decisions. And since you're your own boss, you can do whatever you want. But at the same time, the power of independence comes with responsibility. Being in charge of your own life also means you gotta deal with the shit that comes along with it. Since nobody is monitoring you and keeping you on track, you gotta keep in check with yourself. If you want to keep yourself healthy, you're the one responsible for heading to the gym. If you don't want to have a midlife crisis, you gotta make sure you're productive in your life and not staying complacent. And if you don't want to be broke, you gotta keep your expenses in check, especially with the amount of bills you have to pay now. So when it comes to independence, I would give a point to adulthood for the freedom, but being a kid also gets a point because there were less responsibilities. Moving on to expenses.
That's very valid. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it's a just me thing, but when I was a kid, I literally could not imagine myself being like 18 or having a beard. Like I always wanted a beard, but I'm like, I'll never get one. I can't, like, I couldn't even, it's not that I thought I was gonna die or something, but I like physically could not picture myself as like an 18-year-old or even as a 16-year-old. Like it's really, really weird. And now that I'm actually like that, I am living what I couldn't fathom when I was little. It's really weird. I don't know if I'm the only person that thinks that.
And bro, once you turn 18, a new bill shows up in the mail every month. And this is when you realize that everything costs money. That phone you got, cell phone bill. That car you got, car insurance. That 300 Lego set you bought, you're paying for that too. Adulthood gives you the most freedom you ever had, but the catch is the expenses. And instead of your parents telling you no, it's your wallet telling you that. Without money, you can't live a good life. It's that simple. Financial freedom
Yeah, when people say money isn't happiness, I understand that money isn't happiness, and I completely agree. Like, if you want to go and get into a career that doesn't pay as much, but you could still live, then go do that because you enjoy it. But you still need money to be a functional member of society. So it's you're kind of torn there.
So important to the quality of your life. It determines what food you're going to eat, if you couldn't go on that vacation, and if you plan on having kids in the future. Because taking care of kids are expensive, which is why, a lot of people are choosing not to have kids anymore. But this is the biggest setback preventing adulthood from feeling fun. Bills and taxes make being an adult terrible. And what's more annoying is that what's taught in school doesn't prepare you for this. Most adults still have trouble managing.
Exactly. You're going and doing fucking calculus instead of just learning how to like do your everyday taxes. Like it's stupid. I know there are some courses and stuff to do that, but I feel they should do a little more catered towards what they call the real world instead of like this stupid impossible shit that you're probably going to forget about.
Their finances and credit.
I mean, unless you go and major. Yeah, unless you go and major in something like that, then I feel you should be able to choose the class that you go into to major in that certain subject.
But when it comes to expenses, the one saving grace is having a job. Jobs are one of the best and worst things you can have as an adult. On one hand, you're sacrificing your time and energy doing work. Who the fuck likes doing work? You gotta wake up early in the morning to clock in and spend a third of your day slaving away at a business. Anybody would choose to be unemployed if they could. But we gotta make bread somehow. And you can't lie, those paychecks do hit. After the end of those 2 weeks, your dopamine spikes when you see that number in your bank account go up. Having a job and a steady stream of income puts you in a position where you can enjoy spending while not worrying about the fear of being homeless. I already mentioned how being an adult comes with a ton of stress, so having that stable thing in your life really eases your mind. Working a job might be annoying, but it's so much better than having no income and being unemployed. Which is literally what I was as a kid, a bum. And I love my first job. My first day I clocked in for 4 hours doing training at a restaurant, making $15 an hour. And I was like, wow, I just made $60. I could spend it on Fortnite V-Bucks. I'm gonna have to give the point to adulthood here, because whenever you buy something with your own money that you worked for, it feels a million times better than your parents buying you it, or using your parents' hard-earned money. Next we have is being older and more mature. And there are two new feelings I discovered when you're older. The first one is nostalgia. Nostalgia is a sentimental feeling you get when something reminds you of your past or childhood. And that, by definition, doesn't exist when you're younger. If you're a kid, what do you have to be nostalgic about? Like being a sperm cell? And the second feeling you get as an adult is the constant urge to lock in and get your life together. You realize that you're a grown person and you don't have any excuses for your goals. And sometimes that feeling puts you in a constant stress, but sometimes that feeling puts you in a productive mood. These feelings are pretty neutral, so I can't say whether being a kid or adult is better. Because you can argue that being a kid is better because you don't have the pressure to lock in, but that feeling stems from your inner ambition. Pressure and stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. I will compare.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think when you're a kid, you start to like generate, I guess, like a feel or like a passion for something you want to do. But some people honestly don't get it figured out, and that's okay until they're like 20. Like, just go and work some random job, go try out new things, and if you enjoy it, then you can pursue that. But like for me, like YouTube, I literally remember seeing like, like I had the only form of entertainment back there was like YouTube and stuff like that. So like Prime Markiplier, Dan TDM, freaking Jacksepticeye, Corey Kenshin, all those guys goated. And I decided, I was watching it, it's like, this is cool, but it'd be even cooler if I got to go play those games and be on the other side of the screen. So that's why I think I've literally been doing this, I think, since I was like in 4th grade is when I wanted to do it. I've made countless channels too. And it's weird because everyone goes through a little phase where they start their own YouTube channel and blah, blah, blah. But then everyone grows out of it. The only person that actually stuck with it that I know is Corbin. And even then we know that we got to go and like get a job on the other, and then have this as a side thing until hopefully this takes off. But yeah, it's kind of wild. You start to like grow ambitions when you're little, and then when you're adult, you're like, okay, I gotta lock in and actually make it happen.
When you put your body under a certain amount of stress, your body grows stronger from it. When it comes to nostalgia, it's very neutral as well. That feeling can put a smile on your face from a good memory, or make you sad because it stays as a memory. But at the end of the day, being an adult is alright, I guess. Just because things are different doesn't
Very
mean that
real.
they're worse. I think the biggest part of growing up is realizing that your life will always be changing. None of it lasts forever, so you might as well live in the present. Cause right now you might be reminiscing about your childhood, but soon enough you'll be an old man reminiscing about the days where you were a young adult.
Oh my
Anyway, yeah.
gosh, do you guys ever, this is the end of the video, but do you guys ever like are living in a moment and then you're like, wow, I'm gonna look back on this moment right here and feel super nostalgic about it, and then you like feel better in that moment like by like 50 times. Like I've definitely had times when I was like, oh my gosh, like just cruising around with one of my buddies, beautiful ass sunset, fucking get maybe in like a really deep good philosophical talk and some shit. It's like, damn, life life right there. And it's like, we're gonna look back on this, then like reminisce on this moment right here. And he's like, damn, yeah, you're right. It's really weird. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy and want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you have any videos you want me to react to, put it in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.